Hi there students, welcome back to another video lesson. So, pagkatapos nating i-discuss yung quartiles of group data at yung deciles of group data. So next, and last but not the least na i-discuss natin is percentiles of group data. So let's start. So for our lesson objectives, so same pa rin naman po. So we will calculate and interpret the measures of position using this time percentiles of group data. Now, using the illustration for deciles. So, ganun pa rin. Okay. So, P sub 10 is equal to D sub 1. P sub 20 is equal to D sub 2 up to P sub 90. So, sulat natin D sub 3, D sub 4, D sub 5, D sub 6, D sub 7, D sub 8, D sub 9. So, pare-pareho lang po yung value. Like, for example, 10th percentile is equal to the first decile. 20th percentile is equal to the second decile. And then, 80th percentile is equal to D sub 8 or the 8th decile. So, let us now proceed to percentiles of group data. So, i-discuss natin yung formula niya. So, LB is the lower boundary of the P sub K class. Okay. So, again, kahit deciles man yan, quartiles, ang una muna nating dinedetermine is yung location. No? Yung data, yung score na ating hinahanap. Okay. So, dito, P sub K class. So, para ma-determine yung P sub K class, we'll use the formula Kn all over 100. So, over 100 na siya since percentiles po ang ating pinag-uusapan. And then, N is the total frequency. Ganun pa rin naman. So, i-add lang natin yung frequency ng bawat class dun sa ating distribution table. And then, CFB is the cumulative frequency of the class before the P sub K class. So, again, once you have determined the location of the P sub K class, so dun lang po tayo sa cumulative frequency column titingin, and then sa ibaba ng ating P sub K class ay matatagpuan yung CFB. And then, frequency of the P sub K class, basically, kung ano yung frequency ng ating P sub K class, yun na mismo ang ating kukunin. So, wala tayong isosolve doon. And then, I is the size of the class interval. So, again, given pa rin naman yung size ng class interval natin. Usually, nilalagay yan sa pinakaibaba. So, kung wala man yan sa pinakaibaba, so, we'll just use counting. Malalaman naman natin. So, kuha tayo ng particular class and then, through counting, madedetermine natin yung class interval. So, by the way, yung size ng class interval, equal po siya sa lahat ng class dun sa loob ng frequency distribution table. And then, K is equal to nth percentile. So, since dito, percentile ang pinag-uusapan natin, yung value ng n natin ay 99. So, 1 to 99. Okay, from 1 to 99. So, ayan, 1, 2, 3, up to 99. So, dinidivide kasi niya yung ating distribution into 100 equal parts. So, let us have our example. So, we have math summative test scores of 40 10 patient students in San Juan High School. Calculate P sub 15, P sub 40, and P sub 85. That is percentile 15, percentile 40, and percentile 85. So, ito po yung mga scores ng 10 patient students. So, ayan. So, basically, yung ating test is up to 100 siya. Ayan. So, yung highest score, highest possible score that a student can get is 100. And the lowest score basically is 0. So, since dito sa ating distribution table, wala po tayong student na nakakuha ng 0. Yung ating student na nakakuha ng pinakamababang score ay maaaring 21. Okay. So, ayan. punan lang natin yung ating table, yung lower boundary and less than cumulative frequency. So, ayan. So, again, yung first column natin, ayan yung mga scores. So, yung ating interval is 10. Okay. So, again, pag hindi naka-identify yung interval, kukuha tayo ng isang class lang and then we'll just count. Like, for example, this one, 21 to 30. So, magbilang lang tayo sa kamay, 21 to 30. And then, kung ano yung mabilang natin, that will be the class interval. Then, frequency, ayan, i-add lang natin yan, makukuha natin yung n, which is 40. And then, lower boundary, so, mag-subtract lang tayo ng 0.5 dun sa lower class limit. So, yung mga nasa left side, ayan, yung mga 91, 81, 71, up to 21. So, 90.5, and then mag-subtract tayo ng 10, yung class interval, para mabilis. Okay. Ayan. Next, less than cumulative frequency natin, mag-start tayo sa 1, and then mag-add tayo pataas. So, 1 plus 8, that is 9, plus 6, 15, plus 2, 17, plus 7, 24, plus 3, 27, plus 11, 38, and then plus 2, 40. So, ayan, nagtali po yung ating sagot. 40 is equal to 40. Next, we are now ready to calculate the value of the 15th percentile. So, first, we will locate the position of P sub 15 class. So, using the formula, Kn all over 100. So, K here is 15. Then, N is 40 over 100. Next, we will multiply 50 by 40, and that is 600. And then we will divide it by 100. So, P sub 15 is equal to 6. So, ayan. So, yung 6 score natin is yung ating percentile 15 na located po yun sa 31 to 40 class. Ayan. Kasi yung nasa ibaba natin is 1 lang. So, kailangan pa natin ng 5. So, makukuha yon sa next class natin, 31 to 40. So, nandito po ang ating P sub 15 class. Next. So, since identify na natin yung P sub 15 class natin, so, ayan, which is 31 to 40. So, label lang natin P sub 15 class. So, we are now to apply the formula. So, P sub 15, and then the lower boundary of P sub 15 class is 30.5. Ayan po siya. Plus, Kn over 100, yung nakuha natin is 6. Minus, the cumulative frequency before the P sub 15 class, yung nasa ibaba ng 9, that is 1. And then, yung frequency ng percentile 15 class natin is 8. So, 8 ang ating kukunin. And then, yung ating interval is 10. Ayan. So, naka-substitute na po lahat ng data na kailangan natin. Now, magsisimplify na lang tayo niyan. So, 6 minus 1, that is 5 over 8 times 10. So, dito naman ang gagamitin natin. So, divide muna natin yung 5 sa 8. Tsaka natin i-multiply sa 10. So, 5 divided by 8 is 0.625 or 625 thousandths times 10. So, kapag minultiply natin yung 0.625 sa 10, so, ang makukuha po nating sagot is 6.25. And then, add natin yung 30.5 tsaka 6.25, we will get 36.75. So, this is the value of the 15th percentile. 36.75. So, since test scores yan, pwede naman nating i-round up as 37. So, since exact value kasi dito, kaya 36.75. So, to interpret the result, so therefore, 50%, 15% of the student's summative test score is less than or equal to 36.75, or yung sabi ko kanina, since test scores 37. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin, ayun yung scores ng 15% ng mga estudyante. So, what can we say about 37? So, bagsak pa rin po yung 37 na yan. So, since kung over 100 yung exam natin, so the passing score will always be half of the total score, which is 50. So, ayan. 50 po ang passing score natin. So, ibig sabihin, 15% ng mga estudyante nakakuha ng 37 ay bagsak lahat po yan. So, konti lang naman yan. Okay. So, next example natin, P sub 40, percentile 40. So, yung value po ng percentile 40 equal po siya sa value ng D sub 4, yung ating fourth decile. So, kunin muna natin yung P sub 40 class. So, P sub 40 is equal to Kn over 100. So, the value of K is 40 times the value of N, again, is 40 over 100. So, 40 times 40 is 1,600. Divided by 100, we'll get 16. So, saan located yung ating P sub 40 class? Hindi siya sa 1, hindi siya sa 9, lalong hindi siya sa 15. So, dito po siya located sa 51 to 60 class. So, kung located yung percentile 40 natin sa 51 to 60 na class, ibig sabihin, 40% of the students, maaaring makakuha sila ng score na 60 pababa. Okay. So, malalaman natin mamaya kung ano yung value ng percentile 40 talaga. So, again, located yung ating percentile 40 class dito po sa 51 to 60. So, label lang natin percentile 40 class. And then, substitute na natin yung ating mga values. So, LB, the lower boundary of the percentile 40 class is 50.5. So, sa lower boundary pa lang po kasi, ayan, kitang-kita na natin na pasado. Ayan. Next. Kn over 100, that is 16, minus the cumulative frequency before the percentile 40 class, yung nasa baba niya, which is 15. And then, yung frequency mismo ng percentile 40 class, 2. Substitute lang natin. And then, yung interval, which is 10. Next, 16 minus 15, that is 1. 1 half of 10. So, ang kalahati ng 10 is basically 5. So, 50.5 plus 5. So, we'll get 55.5. So, yan po yung value ng ating percentile 40. So, since test score, pwede rin naman yan 56. So, to interpret our result, so therefore, 40% of the students' summative test scores is less than or equal to 55.5. Okay, or 56. So, pasado na yung 55.5 kasi lagpas na yan sa kalahati. Okay, so, yung other way ng pag-interpret nito is yung counterpart ng 40%, that is 60%. So, 60% of the students' summative test score is greater than or equal to 55.5 or 56. Ayan. So, last natin is percentile 85 or the 85th percentile. So, locate natin yung P sub 85 class. So, that is Kn over 100. So, K that is 85 times N, 40 over 100. So, multiplying 85 by 40 will get 3,400. And then divided by 100, so we'll get 34. So, yung 34th score natin is yung 85th percentile. So, saan located yung ating P sub 85 class? Nandito po siya sa 81 to 90. Ayan, masyado na siyang mataas. Nasa 81 to 90 na siya. So, nandyan po yung P sub 85 class. Now, so since meron na tayong P sub 85 class na nasa 81 to 90, so ayan, bilugan lang po natin. Okay, and then label natin P sub 85 class. Let us substitute the values into the formula. So, P sub 85. So, yung lower boundary nun is 80.5. Ayan. Plus, nakuha natin Kn over 100, yung position ng P sub 85 natin, yung 34th score. So, that is 34 minus cumulative frequency before the P sub 85 class, yung nasa ibaba ng 38, that is 27. Over yung frequency ng P sub 85 class, that is 11. And then, multiply natin sa interval which is 10. Next, 80.5 plus the quantity of 34 minus 27 all over 11. So, 34 minus 27, we have 7 over 11 times 10. Next, 7 times 10, that is 70 over 11. Now, if we are going to divide 70 by 11, ano siya, meron siyang tawag dito, repeating digits. Repeating decimals. So, 70 over 11, ang value talaga niya is 6.36. Yung 36, yun yung repeating digits natin. So, sulat lang natin dito is 6.36. Ayan. So, add natin 80.5 plus 6.36 will get 86.86 or 87. Ayan. So, yan po yung value ng P sub 85, yung 85th percentile. So, for our interpretation, therefore, 85% of the students' summative test score is less than or equal to 86.86 or 87. Ayan. So, after discussing with you measures of position of group data, so meron pa rin namang isang related na lesson on percentiles, which is percentile rank. So, usually ginagamit yung percentile rank sa mga test scores, like for example, yung mga National Achievement Test, National Career Assessment Examination. Okay, so kung para i-determine yung rank ng isang student, ng isang individual dun sa mga test takers. So, pinagsama ko na lang yung ungrouped tsaka group data para isang video lesson na lang. So, since hindi naman marami yung aking example. So, wala tayong decile rank. Wala akong alam na quartile rank. So, usually ang alam ko lang talaga is percentile rank na kasama sa lesson ng ating grade 10. So, that's all. Thank you.